is where MAGA comes to talk. Welcome. We got a lot to cover because some big news has dropped. And we're going to go through it in just a minute. I mean, some major stuff. Just give me a second, guys. I'm setting up. Okay, here we go. One second, guys. Okay. Okay, I'm going to start the other feed. Welcome to the Brian Craig Show podcast. My name is Brian Craig, and holy smokes, this is a special edition of the podcast because there has been some major news broken. Did you guys catch President Trump's press conference today when he signed the executive order renaming the Department of Defense the War Department? I've got some big stuff that dropped out of that, some majorly big stuff. And as big as those things are, which I'm going to get to in a few minutes, there was something else that was just blew my mind that I have never heard before. And I think I know pretty much everything about President Trump, as closely as I follow him. And I'm not sure if we're supposed to know this. I'm not sure if this was said by accident, or was it by design? I don't know. But something major happened. So listen to this. I'm going to play this clip. I'll probably play it more than once. Speaker Mike Johnson, he's in the halls of Congress, and he's talking to this jerk from CNN, and he drops something huge about President Donald Trump. This is amazing. Listen. Did you hear that? Trump was an FBI, and let me rewind it and I'll play the whole thing. Speaker Mike Johnson just said that President Trump was an FBI informant helping to bring down Epstein when he found out about him at Mar-a-Lago. I've never heard that before. And let me tell you, anyone who tells you they have, they're full of it. They're just trying to act like they're in the know. This is majorly new information. Okay, wow. So President Trump was an FBI informant. He found out about Epstein, and he ratted him out, which is a good thing. You know, it was, I don't know, maybe about a month ago, a little less than a month, we got a statement in an interview from Epstein's lawyer. And Epstein's lawyer said that Epstein thought that Trump turned him into the deputies in Palm Beach that led to his arrest. Never heard that before. And now we find out that Trump was working as an FBI informant to bring down Epstein. That is so freaking huge. And, all these Trump hate, Trump's on the list and he's all this stuff. If you truly care about the victims, if you truly care about bringing people to justice, President Trump was involved in this as an FBI informant before any of you ever heard of Jeffrey Epstein. Okay, and this is one of those audio sound bites that I am going to keep for a long, long time. When I share audio sound bites on the program, rarely do I go back to them. I'll use them on that episode of the program, and rarely do I go back to them. But this is one that I'm going to be playing a lot of, probably for the next, I don't know, on every show for the next 3, 4, 5 days. This has really got to get drilled into people's heads. This is some massive stuff. Now, what do you guys think about this? Do you think, and this is 100% new information. No one has heard this before, that Trump was an FBI informant working with the feds to bring down Epstein. Because if people would have known that, we would have been here. He's not on the list. He was working with the feds, but we've never heard that before. So here's my question. Did Trump and Mike Johnson decide to drop this out there for us to know? Or did Mike Johnson, Speaker of the House here, did he drop something by accident through his frustration with these fake news people? Did he share some classified intel? I don't know. I'm hoping this story grows so we get more details. And I'd like to get some information. If you're an informant, there's got to be some type of paperwork connected to that with the case agents and stuff involved. And I'm very curious to see this because I want to know the year and the timeline. This to me is one of the most amazing stories I have ever heard about President Donald Trump. And all these Epstein-obsessed people saying that Trump's on the list, shame on you. Shame on you. Man up, admit you were wrong, and move on. Sometimes I'll take a position on something, new information will come out, and I'll say, hey, I was wrong, I have this new information, and now I've changed my opinion, or I'm sorry I said that. That's called being a man. So I'm looking forward to hearing from some of these people. This just blew my mind. Wow, this is great stuff. All right, so I do want to definitely hear your thoughts on this on the program. If you're watching live on YouTube, you can call in live. The number is 888-465-2631. That when I saw that, it was President Trump was still in the Oval Office with the press conference, and I was scrolling through X. And I started seeing this clip. I was watching the president on Right Side Broadcasting, RSBN, and I saw this clip of Johnson. It kept appearing on my feed. I'm like, what is this? So I listened to it. I was like, what? What? I mean, it was a pretty shocking thing. So your calls on that certainly are welcome. Now, I've got a lot of things I want to cover. And so much has just happened because this Oval Office event that started with the signing of the executive order renaming the Department of Defense the Department of War. Pete Hegseth is now the Secretary of War, not the Secretary of Defense. And that it covered a lot of things. So I'm going to go through some clips from that and a few other things that have been going on today because there's been so much news going on today. I didn't organize it because this all just broke and things are just So I'm going pretty quick here, but we were talking a lot. A lot of us, including me, are very upset and disappointed with Marjorie Taylor Greene. There's no getting around it. And one of the things I told you guys the other day, it was day before yesterday, when we were talking about the aftermath of that Marjorie Taylor Greene press conference. And I said, maybe we'll get a tell. Her boyfriend, Brian Glenn, is part of the White House press corps, and Trump always calls on him. Let's find out if Trump gives him the cold shoulder. So there was an exchange with Brian Glenn and the president, which I'll play for you in a moment. Let me take a call or two first. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
This is Mike from Louisiana.
Oh, hey, Mike.
This clip with MAGA Mike Johnson, you can darn well believe that not only did he have the permission of the president to release this thing, but he also probably had the permission from Bongino and Patel.
I don't know. Something has happened, because I want to know. I want to know when Mike Johnson found out Trump was an informant for the FBI bringing down Epstein. Is this new to him, or is this something he's known for a long time? Is this something that Bongino and them have shared? Obviously, Trump knew he was an FBI informant, but I'm very curious to know when all this stuff happened, when he was an informant, for how long, during what period. I want to know everything about this. This, to me, is amazing, and it says a lot about the great character that our president has. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Dylan, Alabama.
Hey, Dylan.
So I just have one question. I just wanted to clarify. I'm not a Trump supporter.
Obvious. I can tell. I can tell. I can tell by the tone of your voice. But before you told me that, when you said your name, I could tell.
Oh, I don't want to come off as hostile at all. I have a kind of a deeper voice. I'm curious. What would it make you lose support of Trump?
Nothing. I can't think of anything.
Do or not do?
Well, you want some hypothetical? Like if he went on a murder spree or something? Come on.
Well, I mean something a bit real, something like realistic, or like if it, what could he do realistically? That
I cannot think of anything realistically that President Trump could do that would turn me and the millions of supporters of his against him. Can you think of something?
Well, I was wondering. I was going to shoot at if it turns out that some very damning evidence that's undeniable comes out that he was involved in egregious activity with Jeffrey Epstein.
That's BS. We know it. We just heard from these idiots. I just played the clip of the Speaker of the House breaking news that President Trump was an FBI informant. When he found out about Epstein, he turned him in, became an FBI informant to help bring him down. And you're still saying stupid stuff like that? What's the matter with you, Dylan?
Well, it's just kind of weird, the amount of flip-flopping that's
There's no flip-flopping. I think it's kind of weird that a sick, twisted person like you, when we just got this news about the president, would continue on like it didn't happen. Shame on you. And you should be ashamed of yourself. Get off the phone, you jerk. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
My name's Eric, and I'm calling from East Tennessee. I just wanted your take on, and I am a Trump supporter, but I wanted your take on the O'Keefe Media Group situation where they did that, I guess that sting on that DOJ.
I'm not too sure about that. I watched that a couple times. It's a little confusing. The guy seems very weird. I don't know. I watched it a couple times this morning, this latest O'Keefe thing. I don't get it. Something's weird about it. It's not a normal O'Keefe release.
That's me. I don't get it either.
Something stinks about that. I'm a big supporter of James O'Keefe. I have been since the Acorn days, but something about that just is off.
That's me. I agree with you. I was hoping maybe you knew something more.
No, I know what you know, but no, I appreciate the call. Thanks so much. Yeah, there's something up with that O'Keefe thing. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Good afternoon. How you doing? This is Maria, Florida.
Hey, Maria, how you doing? I'm doing great.
I'm fine. How you doing?
Wonderful.
I just picked this up, and I wasn't sure. Is that true? He was an informant for the FBI?
Mike Johnson, the Speaker of the House, Speaker of the House, Mike Johnson, was talking to CNN at the Capitol building today, and said that when President Trump found out what Jeffrey Epstein was all about, he became an FBI informant to bring him down. So President Trump was an FBI informant helping the FBI bring down Jeffrey Epstein. Yeah, it's crazy. This is huge. This is brand new stuff. I've never heard. No one's heard this before.
Yeah.
It's brand new.
Yeah, I was just turning on my TV because I've been busy all day, and I just tuned into it. And I looked at your show, then I looked another article because I seen it today, and I was like, what? But I heard this before, that Trump had been working with the Federal Bureau.
No, there was some talk that he had turned him into the Palm Beach County Sheriffs, where the original case was. This FBI informant is brand new stuff. Brand new.
Okay.
Brand new. I've never heard it before, and Mike Johnson seemed kind of aggravated when he was talking to the CNN fake news guy. So I'm wondering. I don't know why that came out then. I wish this would have come out a long time ago.
Yeah, but you know what? I think what it is that he's upset because he see the president being a target. It's like they targeting him as a saying it's something that he was doing to these young girls. Yeah. These young,
Now we know it was just the opposite. He was working with the feds. He was working. Yeah, that's all right, Maria. Take care. Thanks for the call. Yeah, this is great stuff. If you're just tuning in, let me play it. This is today. It's Mike Johnson talking to CNN.
What was that?
Wow, there you go. Mike Johnson. He was an FBI informant. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
My name is John. I'm from Tennessee.
Mm.
I'm a huge Trump supporter. I was just wondering, what do you think his cum tastes like? I was thinking like raspberry.
What is wrong with you? I mean, what kind of person are you? No, don't say it again. What kind of person are you? What kind of person are you?
What's wrong with you?
Oh my goodness. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hey, Brian, this is Angeles Antonio. Hey, look at this. Remember, I believe that he was, because remember a while ago that what's her name? The woman that's in jail.
Maxwell.
Yeah, Maxwell. Remember when she said that Epstein thought Trump had told the police on him?
Yeah.
Trump went to the police on him. He was an informant for the police. It comes together because he said that he thought Trump had turned him in.
That's right. Right.
And that goes all the evidence. I don't even care what they say about the man. He's a good man, and I'm glad this evidence came out. That's a good thing for Johnson to do that.
That's amazing. And I got to tell you, it also goes to the great character of President Trump. Not just what he did then, but he's kept this to himself with all these disgusting people like these loons I've talked to in the last few minutes. All these disgusting things people have accused him of and said about him, and here you have him keeping that a secret.
And just like that idiot just came and said, "Oh, what if he did anything wrong?" But now he can go back and get the tapes and see for himself that she had been said that Epstein thought that Trump had told on him, was telling on him to the police.
Yeah.
To the FBI.
Well, now we know that it was the FBI, not just the local police.
Yeah.
That's huge. I hope we get all the details on it. This is amazing stuff.
But we know you're going to get it you're going to get everything.
It's going to be absolutely. All right, appreciate the call. Take care. I mean, this is great stuff. I'm excited. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hi, Brian. This is Nick out of Baltimore.
Hey, Nick. What's up?
This is really great news, and it put to rest all those nasty things they're trying to throw at Trump, you know. This is amazing. This is why I said X number of weeks ago, we don't know. We're not privy to all the information, and now it's all coming out.
Can you imagine all these things, Nick, that they've been saying about Trump and accusing him of? He knows about it, and I mean, I wouldn't have been able I would not have been able to keep that FBI informant thing a secret. He was able to. It shows how much they had and Marjorie Taylor Greene owes him an apology for her behavior the other day with this dropping.
She sure does, and on that rally whatever that was on the Capitol steps a few days ago, you know, whenever I see Gloria Allred, the red flags go up.
Yeah, well, Gloria Allred wasn't there. Her daughter was. Which is, but her daughter is the face of the law firm now. It's still the same thing. You know what I mean?
Okay.
It's like, yeah, she wasn't physically there. I don't believe. If I may be wrong, but I don't think Gloria Allred was physically there. But her daughter is all involved with these women. So that's the same thing, Nick. I wouldn't have anything to do with anyone connected to Gloria Allred.
Yeah, that to me is suspect. I mean, I'm not saying that, and the president isn't saying that's a hoax. He knows that Jeffrey Epstein did what he did, but that, you know, they don't want to talk about this. I just brought it up because it's related in respect to, you know, what you're talking about. Mm-hmm. But the point here being is that you know, all this propaganda. Now you just had a couple of seminar callers a few calls back.
Yeah.
You know, no matter what comes out, no matter what facts are brought out, they're still gonna hate Trump because they're programmed that way.
Yeah.
And this is what we're up against, and it's just, I just can't wait. I mean, you see, we don't know. The thing is going on in Chicago right now. Okay, and it's going to happen in all these other cities, and he's getting also involved in the story you broke this morning about, you know, him with the mayor's race in New York City.
Yeah.
You know, I don't like Andrew Cuomo. You know, to maybe employ Adams and Curtis Sliwa, who I think, you know, I like Curtis, but I think he's a showboater.
Well, yeah, and you know, Mayor Adams had a press conference a little while ago saying he's not dropping out. He said he's the only one that can beat Mondani.
No, he can't beat him. Something's going to change. You watch. Trump is working behind the scenes.
Well, President Trump said that he did not offer Adams that Saudi Arabia ambassadorship. He said he wouldn't do that. So that was. He did say that. It was in that Oval Office event today that just happened.
Well, something's going to happen to change the dynamics in that race, because they're not going to let New York City go down. Because if that guy gets in New York City, New York City is going to turn into Havana, Cuba.
Absolutely
and
worse.
I've been watching some YouTube videos about Havana just because I'm curious, and how Castro destroyed that country. Mm-hmm. While Castro had millions of dollars and had yachts and everything else, everybody lived in squalor.
Exactly.
So that's communism, you know.
And it sure is. It sure is.
Great show. Have a great weekend, and I'll be listening.
All right, take care, Nick. Nick from Baltimore. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hey, Brian. It's John from California.
Hey, what's up?
So I remember having a conversation with you not too long ago. I think it was a couple of days ago on your morning show, where I told you basically that I don't know what it is about Trump, but everything that he ends up touching ends up turning into gold.
Absolutely.
Even when most people count him down and out. Now, in regards to the information that Speaker Johnson ended up giving, I had heard that he had gone actually to the police because Virginia, don't forget, her father worked at Mar-a-Lago. It was one of the.
Well, no, I've heard about him going. No, we've heard about him going to the police, but that was the. But exactly. we didn't. This FBI informant is brand new.
Right. No, I'm not saying.
And I think I know why this came out today. Rosie O'Donnell. I'm gonna after the break.
Oh my God.
After the break, I want to play a clip. Rosie O'Donnell went on Jim Acosta's show today and said terrible things, and it's been going viral on X all day. And I think Trump talked to Johnson, said drop it. Let people know. Enough of this crap. That's what I think happened.
Well, hopefully he ends up suing her for defamation because she's just a little ridiculous.
She's
But
insane.
in regards to, well, yeah, she is. She's the Ozempic must have done her in like totally, even though she's already a lunatic.
Yep.
But because I can like literally recall there was a podcaster who did some really, really great investigative work and ended up getting some information in regards to that because he was very, very close, I know, to the Florida Police Department when they were doing their investigation. So that's where I ended up hearing that. But like as you said, I did not know that he had actually gone to the or the FBI had come to him or he had gone to.
We don't know how it happened. We don't know any details other than that President Trump was an FBI informant. Now we don't know anything else. And the media should. If it was anyone but Trump. It would be breaking news. Yeah, it would be breaking news. They would interrupt regularly scheduled programming and be talking about this. This is huge. First of all, how many presidents of the United States have been FBI informants in the past? I've never heard that before. That in itself, whoever it is a major news story.
Yeah, but do you recall them making a huge, gigantic, big stink about saying that he was in the files? Well, if he was an FBI informant, then his name would be in the files.
That's right.
As being an informant.
That's right.
So there you go. I love your show, Brian. Keep up the great work. You're working so hard. Thank you.
Well, great. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. If you'd like to call in, you're welcome to do that. If you're watching live on YouTube, you can call in live because I am live on YouTube. On the if you're listening on one of the podcast platforms, the Brian Craig Show podcast is available on all podcast platforms. Okay, wherever you get your podcast, just type in the Brian Craig Show, and I'll pop right up. But if you follow me on YouTube at Brian Craig Show, you can catch the show live and call in. If you're on hold, hang in there. We got much more to cover. I'm going to recap this massive story, and then I'll get into some other things and your calls. But first, let's take a quick break. All right, welcome back, everyone. My name is Brian. This is the Brian Craig Show podcast. If you're on hold, hang in there. Breaking news. This is a special report podcast. If you're watching live on YouTube, it's Friday night. I usually don't stream this late in the evening, and I certainly don't podcast this late in the evening. But this news is so big, I couldn't wait until tomorrow. So I am here when I'm usually, because of my weird hours, getting ready to go to bed, sharing this. Because I mean, this is amazing. So let me tell you what happened, and then I'll get to the Rosie part. But Speaker of the House Mike Johnson was very frustrated as he was talking to this CNN reporter, and this CNN reporter was at the victims press conference with Marjorie Taylor Greene the other day, and he dropped one of the biggest stories ever about President Trump. I really believe that, and I think you would agree. This is one of the biggest revelations about President Trump since he came down the escalator. Listen. See that? President Trump was an FBI informant who helped and was working to bring Epstein down. Huge stuff. So why did this drop today? Well, there was a viral video all day long of Rosie O'Donnell. She was a guest on the Jim Acosta podcast and said terrible things. And I think President Trump just said enough of this crap. So here's Rosie O'Donnell today on the Jim Acosta podcast. Oh, please. Wait a minute. So this lunatic, Rosie O'Donnell, is blaming Donald Trump for the firefighter who was killed, Corey, in the stands at the Trump rally in Butler? Is she going to blame JFK for his assassination? Is she going to blame Lincoln and McKinley for their assassination? What is she? Is it Reagan's fault that Hinckley shot him? What is this lunatic idiot talking about? But it gets the part that inspired this Johnson drop about the president being an FBI informant is coming up. What? No. What? Miraculously healed. So just like that idiot Joy Reid, Rosie O'Donnell is suggesting that President Trump wasn't wounded, wasn't shot, wasn't hit in Butler. Ugh. Here we go. Here we go. Now, this was today. This is what was going viral, and I'll play it uninterrupted. None of that's true, of course. What with what lies? So what she said about Epstein, I think, is what the frustration came from that led to Mike Johnson dropping this information that the president was an FBI informant working to bring Epstein down. Wow, that's amazing. I'm shocked. I don't know of anything we've ever heard from President Trump's entire life that's that shocking. That's amazing. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hi there, this is David from Corpus Christi.
Okay.
So Brian, I'm just looking at this whole situation, and this whole Trump being an FBI informer is going to pass over in the next, say, 2 weeks to a month in the news cycle, and then they're just going to go back to the negative attacks.
No, they can try that, but I'm going to keep that clip permanently. And people that like me that have platforms like this should do the same. This is the biggest.
Right.
This is one of the biggest stories.
I understand that.
This
But
is
the mainstream media.
who cares? Nobody watches
the
them.
mainstream media is still going to do the same.
So what?
Negative attacks.
We can't control them. We can't control those jerks.
I feel the same way. I don't want them to just be one-sided the way they are. But that's just the way they're going to operate. That's how the mainstream media is.
They're insane. Yeah.
Yeah, and it really is, because they can't see the forest to the trees, and they don't want to because they don't want us to.
That's right.
That's the problem.
That's right. Yeah. But I'm not going to let this drop. I'm going to be playing this clip of Mike Johnson probably through at least Monday. I'm going to play it all weekend long. I'm going to play it on the radio on Monday, and I might play it every day next week. I don't know. It's huge.
I didn't even know that Trump was an FBI.
No one knew. This is new. This is new breaking information. This is breaking news. No one has ever heard this before. This is brand new.
Yeah, I get it because I've never heard this. I just heard that he kicked him out of Mar-a-Lago.
Yeah.
Kicked Epstein out of Mar-a-Lago and reported him to the cops.
Yeah, but this is
being,
what an amazing man of high character President Trump is, that when these people have been saying these terrible things about him, he kept this a secret for whatever reason.
Dude, it's nothing new. They've been saying these things since 2014, 2013, since he announced.
And he's never mentioned this before. He could have mentioned this at any time. He's the president. He can declassify anything.
But he knows strategically this is when he needs it, because the amount of pressure and the amount of people against him.
Yeah.
We're like at a 50-50 split in the country.
Yeah.
Seriously.
Well, I don't know. He won all the battleground states. He won the popular vote in all the battleground states. We're about 53, 54 in our side. So we've got more than 50.
Yeah. To be honest, that's 50-50, plus or minus 5%. That's give or take.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
So it's a 50-50 split in the country.
So this is an interesting thing. Because President Trump was an FBI informant working to bring Epstein down, he probably is mentioned multiple times in the files because he was part of the team trying to bring this monster pig down.
Exactly. But see, the thing is, when he didn't know what Epstein was about in the early 90s, he's going to be implicated. So how does this help him?
It totally takes away, not that he needed it, but it totally clears him. Hey, appreciate the call. This is huge stuff. Okay, so I want to get back to the press conference. You're welcome to call in about this as the podcast goes on. By the way, welcome everyone. Thanks for joining in. I'd like to also, before we move on, if you'd like to support my channel and my content, become a Patreon supporter. If you become a Patreon supporter, you get access to commercial-free editions of all of my podcast episodes, as well as access to a lot of exclusive material that I post nowhere else. My wife and I both post to Patreon, and there's a link in the description of this episode on whatever platform you're listening to me on to my Patreon page. If you become a top Patreon supporter, you get your name up on the screen on YouTube, and you get a live on-air thank you shout out. The names you'll hear now are my top Patreon supporters. I want to thank Janice, Sue, Wes, Rob, Laura, David, Tina, Dale, George, Brandon, John, Frank, Shawna, LeeZep, Alice, Maria in Texas, David, Heather, Wesley, Doris, Pamela, Nick, SFjr, Christine, ETW, and Chuck. Those are my top Patreon supporters. Thank you all. And again, if you'd like to become a Patreon supporter, there's a link in the description of the episode on whatever platform you're listening on. And you could just also go directly to the website address, which is patreon.com/Real Brian Craig Show. Patreon.com/Real Brian Craig Show. Okay, now one of the things I was talking about was a couple days ago with the Marjorie Taylor Greene press conference was how will President Trump react with Brian Glenn in the White House press conferences? Because Brian Glenn is Marjorie Taylor Greene's boyfriend. He's in the White House press corps, and he's always has great moments with the president. And today we found out he brought something to the president's attention. This is Brian Glenn talking to the president in the Oval Office. This is during that big press conference with the War Department announcement. And Brian Glenn not only got called on and had an interesting exchange with the president, which shows there's not no hard feelings there. Brian Glenn's question inspired the president to give an order to do something. We got two orders that he gave. I'll get to the second one in a little bit, but the first one, because this is in reverse order. But we actually get to see, courtesy of Brian Glenn's briefing to the president here with this question, as you'll hear, we saw the President of the United States sitting at the Resolute desk in the Oval Office, look over to someone on his staff. I'm not sure who he said it to because we couldn't see them. And he gave a direct order, a presidential directive to do something, which is kind of cool, I must say, to see. Listen, watch. See that voice in the background off mic? That's Brian Glenn, Marjorie Taylor Greene's boyfriend. Hear that? Isn't that awesome? We got to see a presidential order. This is so cool. Is that cool? Right now. This is crazy. This is so badass, isn't it? Wait till you see the next order he gave. Oh, that he gave earlier. I've never seen anything like this. Oh my goodness. Is that super cool or what? To see the President of the United States give an order. Now I want to pull it. He gave another order too. earlier. This was spectacular. Now, let me find this clip. Okay, here we go. So this was earlier. He had just, the president had just signed. By the way, you're listening to the Brian Craig Show podcast. Thanks for joining. If you're new to the program, make sure that you follow and subscribe on whatever platform you're listening on, all right? So this was right after the president signed the executive order renaming the Defense Department the War Department again. And now Pete Hegseth is the Secretary of War, not of Defense, which is pretty cool. And he was taking questions. And there were some, after we took out that drug dealer's boat, that drug cartel boat the other day with that military strike, there was an incident that was reported in the news this morning, you may have seen it, of some Venezuelan, I think they said F-16s. Some old things, huh? That the Venezuelans with fighter jets, I thought they said F-16s, were flying over a U.S. naval vessel, which is very threatening. And a reporter asks President Trump about this, and he gives an order to the chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff, Raising Cane. Hear that? He is. I'll play the rest of it. I'll play the whole thing uninterrupted. The commander-in-chief of the United States military just gave an order to the chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff, Raising Cane, that he gave him the okay to shoot down Venezuelan aircraft if they approach U.S. naval vessels at his discretion. When have you seen a military, first of all, it's the right thing to do, but when have we seen a president order a military action live on television to the military like that? Have we seen that before? This was like the most badass press. Why do you think I'm at night when I would normally be going to sleep? This was so badass, this whole press conference today. I was going to do this in the morning. I said, I can't wait. I gotta talk about this now. Wow. Oh, did you hear Raising Cane? He said, he responded. What did he say? He said, yes, sir. Oh, gee whiz. This is so cool. Oh, man. Thank you very much. It'll be shot down. Thank you very much. Have we ever seen anything like that? I'm serious. Have we seen a president of the United States give an order about how authorizing a military action like that? I don't, and I love Raising Cane. Yes, sir. What is that not super cool or what? America's back. I mean, we got a real president. All right, we got a real president. I want to talk to you guys about Dr. Appleton and his laser wave pain treatment. You know, the laser wave pain treatment of Dr. Appleton's has rid me of pain 7 times. It works on every type of pain I've ever heard of. Acute and chronic pain, rotary tears, herniated discs, plantar fasciitis, fibromyalgia, spinal stenosis, sciatica, tinnitus, knee conditions, neck injuries, back injuries, repetitive motion injuries, post-surgical swelling, strains and sprains, work injuries, sports injuries, bursitis, arthritis. This is a very incomplete list. If you've been in a car accident, you have pain from that car accident, the laser treatment works on that. And not only has Dr. Appleton rid me of pain 7 times, the first time was over 3 years ago now, the pain he's relieved me of has never returned. There's no drugs, no shots, no surgery, no downtime. The laser treatment not only is completely painless, you don't even feel it when it's happening. I just sit there with my phone and read the news or something. I'm going through, going through X while I'm getting a laser treatment done, and Dr. Appleton performs all the treatments himself. We have had listeners travel from all over the United States to have Dr. Appleton rid them of pain. He's that good, and I'm here to tell you it works. Appointments are not necessary. Walk-ins are welcome with Dr. Appleton, even on Saturdays. His number, 954-973-0710, 954-973-0710, and online, AppletonChiro.com. Give Dr. Appleton a call and say bye-bye to your pain. All right, we are back. I'm Brian Craig. Thanks for tuning in, everyone. And whatever podcast platform you're on or on YouTube, make sure you follow and subscribe wherever you're listening to the program. If you're watching live on YouTube, you can call live. The number's pinned in the chat. I have some other things, though, I want to get to. You're welcome to call on anything I brought up so far. For all of you never Trumpers and loons out there that think the economy is not back, this is CNBC today. See that? So hourly wages are up. Okay? Hourly wages are up. And there was a massive raid. This raid of almost 475 illegals at this Hyundai plant in Georgia. And this is a big story for a lot of reasons. It's the largest raid in ICE history, apparently. But let me play the clip. This is the, I guess this is, I don't know, is this guy's not the director of, I'm not sure what his job is, who this guy is, but he's doing the briefing. Okay, he's the special agent from Homeland Security that was in charge of this. This is a plane in Georgia, 475 illegal aliens working at a Hyundai plant. And, for those of you out there who say, well, these illegals do the jobs Americans don't want to do. Really? Working in auto plants is a job Americans don't want to do? This isn't picking fruits and vegetables. This isn't cleaning toilets or doing yard work, which is what the liberals always are talking about, their slave force they have. These are very sought after jobs, working in an auto plant with any kind of job. People want to get whatever job they can get so that they get in there on the ground floor and they can get an opening if something better comes along. So these are high skilled. See, one of the big things about the illegal workforce, it's just like these job numbers. The job numbers are down. They're saying, I don't buy that number. President Trump laid off a bunch of government workers, and a lot of jobs opened up with the deportation. So those numbers you're hearing in the news, those numbers stink. I don't buy those numbers. But the illegals are taking jobs that Americans desperately would like to have. Working at a Hyundai plant, working in the auto industry. Are you kidding me? They take high-skilled jobs. Auto plant, truck drivers, construction jobs, highly skilled stuff, carpentry, all that kind of stuff. They take very highly skilled jobs away from Americans. And they also drive the wages down, too, because they're willing to work for so much less. And this Hyundai plant raid, the largest ICE raid in history, they said, 475 illegals, at an auto plant, the very little coverage in the news about that. Now, the AutoPen investigation is going full steam ahead, and it looks like we very well could see some pardons invalidated and maybe some arrests. Listen to this. There's been hearings with sworn testimony about the AutoPen administration of Joe Biden. Insane. Wow. I mean, look at this. I mean, this is just madness. And I'm glad to see that we're getting some, what's happening is these staffers, they're not connected people. They're not well known. They're not famous or anything. They don't have powerful families. They're under oath, and they don't want to lie to Congress because you can go to prison for that. So they're telling the truth because they're under oath. And we're finding how chaotic it was as people that were not elected were running the government for 4 years. So I think we're going to get some justice with that. Now, if you're new to the program, this is the Brian Craig Show podcast. And make sure that you follow and subscribe. This is, without question, where MAGA comes to talk. Now, if you're just tuning in, I'm just going to recap here what I began with, because this is huge. Mike Johnson was talking to a reporter from CNN, the Speaker of the House, somewhere in the halls of Congress today, and dropped what I consider to be the biggest revelation we've ever heard about our favorite president, the 45th and 47th president, Donald Trump. Yeah, there you go. President Trump was an FBI informant working with the FBI to bring Jeffrey Epstein to justice. Marjorie Taylor Greene, Massey, and a lot of people in this country have a lot of apologizing to do to President Trump. This is breaking news that has never been reported before. We did know that it was rumored that he talked to the local cops in Palm Beach, but that he was an FBI informant, huge news. So if he's in these files, of course he's in the files, because he was working with the FBI to bring down Epstein as a confidential informant. So of course he's in the files. All of you people out there that have been saying these terrible things about our great president should be ashamed of yourselves. But you have no conscience. You have no integrity. You're creeps. But Marjorie Taylor Greene, she's got some apology. I expect an apology from her. Not that we're going to get it. This is where MAGA comes to talk. My name is Brian Craig. Again, make sure you follow and subscribe. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. And I'll talk to you next time. Take care.